Morning everyone, welcome back. Well, it's that time of the year when we plant out our very first brassicas of the season. And I'm quite pleased with these. They don't look too bad. They're the first of the season. We've got 18 broccoli and 6 greyhound, and they've got a really nice colour and they look alright, don't they? I did notice when I took them out of the cold frame where they've been for the last week, they're a snail probably about that big was sat at the bottom nibbling away on the seed leaves and has had a go at that leaf as well, but the rest appear to be okay. So I'm going to pop these in the long 20-foot by 5-foot bed in amongst the fruit trees. Half of that bed is sown with carrots, but I'm going to put these in the other half, and I'll bring you back when they're all in, and then we'll take a look at them. So that's the first brassicas planted this season, and we've got a dozen broccoli, and the variety is Covina, and 6 of the slightly paler leafed cabbage here, the Primo 2. And I've healed them all in nicely, so they're all in nice and firm. Give them a good watering. A couple are leaning over, but they'll perk up soon enough. And I've also spread some slug pellets around. And these are organic slug pellets, and I've shown them in the past, and I think the variety is Neumann. That's the variety that I buy and use. So there we go. Like you can see up at the top there, I've got the blue hoops ready to go. So I need to get these hooped up, covered with netting, and weighted down with some bricks, and then fingers crossed we'll have some nice brassicas this season. And there we go, done. And that's all the flower heads picked now. They're all in the bucket, and I always do this before I cut the comfrey, and the reason for that is that this is a self-fertile plant, and the seed will germinate in the ground and grow new plants. As you can see, I've got the odd plant popping up to either side of the main row, and if I just turn you around as well, you can see there's one right by the base of the Granny Smith apple, and in this bed there are a few little plants as well. So you do have to be careful. It's not a major problem, and in fact it's suggested that you actually grow comfrey plants around your fruit trees, and it does make me wonder whether this is the reason why this Granny Smith has performed quite so well. I don't know whether it's to do with the nutrients that are brought up from deep within the ground, or what. Maybe there's some interplay between the roots of the comfrey and the apple tree. I don't know. I don't know what the process is in terms of soil biology, but apparently it helps. So I'm not overly concerned about it spreading in this little patch here to the side. 2 apple trees here and an ashy pear tree there, so not the end of the world. But when I cut this and I soak it in water and feed the plants, I don't want to be adding any seed to the plants. And similarly, once all the comfrey feeds have been used, because what you do is you steep the leaves in water. When you've drained that water off and you use it as a feed when it's diluted, the stuff that's left in there I'll add to the compost bins. And again, I don't want to be adding much in the way of seed to the compost bins. It should all break down anyway, but there's always a risk that you may have 1 or 2 seeds in your compost. So Would have made life easier if I'd just got the Bocking 14 variety, but I didn't. I bought this as seed, sowed it myself, ended up with 2 plants. I think I sowed about 20 seed, got 2 plants, and I was a little bit concerned that I wouldn't have enough, and now look at it. I'm going to cut this down now. When I say cut, I'm just going to rip off the leaf, and then I'm going to pour the water on in the buckets and then leave that for 4 weeks. We'll come back when I've done it all. Well, there we are, we're all finished now. 5 10-litre pots full of Comfrey, and I've put 2 gallons of water in each pot, and that's British gallons, so that's about 9 litres. So after a month we should have 45 litres of Comfrey tea or Comfrey feed, and when it comes to diluting that, I normally do it about 5:1, which makes it still quite potent stuff. But there's plenty to go around then. I've got enough for my tomatoes and cucumbers, and if there's any left over I'll use it to feed the dahlias or maybe the fruit trees. A quick glance over to the area where the plants are, and you can see, looks a bit brutal, doesn't it? But trust me, the plants are bomb-proof and they'll grow back, and within 6 weeks or so I would imagine they'll be ready to cut again. It's a wonderful plant, is Comfrey. And has many uses. It can be used as a compost activator. Some people put it in the bottom of trenches before they put potatoes in, and others use it for feed. But it's a great plant. And the other thing I should add as well is that the NPK values of the plant change during the season. At the start of the season it's higher in nitrogen, and towards the middle and latter part of the season it's higher in potassium and phosphorus. So when you make your next cut, you know, it'll be good for your fruiting plants. At this stage, the nitrogen obviously is good for your plants as they're growing on. So that's it, we're all done. I think this one's long enough, so we'll call it a day. And it just remains for me to thank you for watching and for subscribing, and please feel free to comment. I always enjoy reading them. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you again soon. Cheers.